One day, the Eoraptor and Rheosaurus were arguing with each other. But then the Eoraptor got struck by lightning and died. When the Eoraptor died, the Rheosaurus ate the Eoraptor until it turned into a skeleton. Then the Rheosaurus got crushed by meteorites and died. The skeleton and the remains of the Rheosaurus fell into an ocean and layers of sand started forming. The Eoraptor skeleton turned into a fossil because when it was buried, minerals got into the skeleton and spread throughout the skeleton. Then the skeleton dissolved and left a space in the sand. Then the space got filled with mineral deposits and it turned into a rock, so a fossil. Then the fossil rose up to the Earth's surface.
El dinosaurio estaba comiendo tranquilo. El otro dinosaurio carnívoro lo mordió. Salió corriendo al río. Cuando llegó al río se tiró el otro también. Llegaron al fondo del mar, fallecieron. Una langosta se los comió. El tiempo los hizo que se hicieran fósiles.
Alright, so this is going to be about fossilization. The Yinlong is eating and the Stegosaurus comes and bites him. The Yinlong runs away to the edge of the cliff where the Stegosaurus jumps on him, and they both fall. When they hit the water/ground, they both die. A crab comes and eats the remains. Water with minerals seeps into the bones, turning them to stone, and layers of sediment and other materials pile on the dinos. Then uplift pushes them up. Uplift is when tectonic plates squeeze and smash together, pushing a section of rock up, which has our dinos. This scene is just a credit scene.
Fossilization of Panopliosaurus and Avaceratops. The Panopliosaurus was drinking water, and the Avaceratops was eating leaves off the trees. Then the earth started moving, and that made the Avaceratops angry. So she attacked the Panopliosaurus, and he bit his knee. So the Panopliosaurus fell down over the Avaceratops. Then a lot of meteorites come over this dinosaur and kill the Panopliosaurus and Avaceratops. Then the meteorites do like a big explosion. Then the dinosaur changes and becomes bones, then layers of ash and gravel and stones and water drop the bones and it becomes a stones because when the water mixes with the stones of ash make a chemical composition that decomposes the bones faster. Then one archaeologist finds the bones of the Avaceratops and she goes with the bone. The dinosaur extinction of the Gilmosaurus and Raptor. One day the T-Rex had nothing to eat in his refrigerator, so decided to go eat the Gilmosaurus as it was outside dead on the floor. But the Raptor also thought the same, so decided to eat both of them. The skeletons were left there and rotted, and over time, millions of layers were added onto them. The layers created minerals in them, and the fossils were created. The fossils were uplifted onto the surface, and if someone were to pass by and start digging, they would eventually find some fossils, but not all the fossils since the dinosaurs were created in the late Cretaceous period. Rheosaurus was an herbivore that lived in the late Triassic period. The Rheosaurus was a very old dinosaur and it ended up dying from old age. This is the Eoraptor. It is a carnivore that lived in the late Triassic period. The Eoraptor found the body and ate it, leaving the bones behind, which will then become a fossil. After many years, layers started to form on top of the bones. The layers created a lot of weight and some of the parts got crushed. The water enters the bone and turns it into stone. Throughout the years, the layers rise up and cause some of the bones to be visible. After some years, some of the fossils that stick out could be found by a lucky person and they could sell the bones to a museum.
The erkatu is looking for some food when he spots some food on the other side of a hole. He tries to cross over by an old piece of log, but then breaks the log, falling into the hole, breaking both his front legs. A couple of days go by, and a shanag comes flying by, and he starts eating the body. He flies away, and the body starts decomposing after days. And then a bunch of sand and dirt covers the body, and there's some water flowing into the bones, turning it into stone. The dirt under the bone starts rising, calling it uplift. Someone finds the hill and comes back with a pickaxe and starts mining away the hill. And as he's mining, he sees that there's a bunch of bones in it. And then he finds out it's a rare dinosaur. So he keeps on mining and then finds it's an erkatu and starts dancing. And he finishes mining and takes the erkatu to a museum called the Natural History Museum and displays it.
The Ankylosaurus is a lizard-like creature that has been dead for a long time. The Apsilosaurus saw him, it started heading his way, and they started to fight. The Apsilosaurus gets hurt really badly and died. A few years later, the skin and muscles rotted away. All that was left were the bones, and after millions of years, they became covered in mud. Layers started to form out of minerals like sand, dirt, and volcanic ash on top. And over time, minerals added a lot of weight on the bones, and some of them became cracked. And in the process, they turned into rocks. Water got into the bones and left minerals and turned them into stone, and in this process made a fossil. After some years, a process called uplift happens and reveals the Apsilosaurus skeleton. And one day in the future, someone will find the bones.